What's up, guys? Rocky checking in. You know, some people ask me, how do I stay so fit? It's all about marching drills. You got to keep going at 165 cadence per step. Get them marching drills just like this. Yeah, 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 yeah. Shout me out, Rocky be running. What's up, everybody? People from BC Fit checking in. Half marathon down. What's our time looking like, James?
138
Ooh,
for the 320.
going for that 320. Hi. As you can tell by that intro video that you just watched, it is still the Rock Dog Takeover. I'm still here. I'm still in control. James and Lauren are still not in the United States of America. So as long as they are gone, I got the key to the ship, and here I am, sailing away. I have another illustrious guest, so I'm going to get straight into the introduction, and we're going to get straight into this. When I think of this person, a few things come to mind. A champion, an overcomer, and a child of God. Which, honestly, those are things I hope people think about me when they think of me when they think about me, you know? Those things come to mind, I guess. This individual is a local phenomenon. That means if you have a DECA or a high rocks competition in the Houston tri-state area, you better hope you're not in the female division because this girl has a residency at the top of the podium. That's her, so you're the best you can get is second place. She is a DECA world champion in 3 events. Shout out to Holly and Bethany, her lovely teammates.
My girls.
Yep. She's an elite world champion qualifier for DECA, of course. And she was second in her high rocks age group individual, which is a tough feat right there. And her greatest achievement, above all those things, is being a mother.
Yes.
Please welcome Brandy Dittert. Did I say the last name right?
Yes, you did. Brandy Dittert.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you. Thank you. That was incredible.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, you're incredible.
Well, thank
That's why
you.
I asked you to be here. I was like, who do I think of? And
I'm so honored.
yeah.
I am so honored. I never thought to be on here.
I mean, you literally have a residency on the top of podiums. If there's a local gym event, if there's an event here, you're there on a podium.
I did. Anything anybody put on last summer, last year, I was there.
That was your year.
Yeah, I loved it. It was my only year. It's the first time I ever got into it, and I just took off with it.
Your first year doing all that
My
stuff?
first year, yeah.
What were you doing before all that?
Well, I was just working out, doing my thing. I would go to all the local just gyms to, whatever was in the Woodlands. I was living in the Woodlands at the time. Mm. But I found out about it through some friends who I used to do, like when COVID hit, we did Orange Theory together, and then we did garage gym workouts together. And they're the ones who first introduced me to High Rocks. Back in 2021, they did their first one in Dallas. Mm. Shout out to Chad and Sarah Harold. And I sometimes wonder, man, if I really started it then, where would I be now?
Yeah.
And I said, no, I didn't do it.
You did it like all in a year, just
yes, all that was in a year.
Flip of a switch to the top of the podium.
Yeah. So what really started was, so they introduced me to DECA, and I first did it at InBody. So all this really originated in Richmond with InBody. Mm-hmm. So
that's
Megan,
a far drive.
Yeah, and
from
so
the Woodlands.
It is.
Yeah.
But at the time, my parents I'm from Katy.
Oh yeah.
So that's where all
mm-hmm.
that really was my home base for a little bit, and they did their first DECA mile workout, and this was in 2022, and I did it, and I was like, oh, okay. My times made it on the leaderboard, and I was like, all right, that sounds pretty cool. Let's see where I end up kind of overall, just really learning about what this was. This was my first time to ever run it. Actually, in 2022, I qualified to go to the World Championships for DECA, and I got second place at it.
In the Worlds?
In the Worlds. And so in 2022, so that was my second race to ever run. Mm-hmm. And you know how it is when you taste success, you're like, okay, I can do this. So let's try this out now. What is this whole world of functional fitness? I've never heard of it before. And so that's when DECA, and then I decided to do High Rocks after. And I was just like, okay, let's try it.
And all right, I got 2 questions on top of that. First, what is a DECA? I'm kind of familiar with it because Lauren does it, but I'm really not that familiar with it.
So it is very similar to High Rocks. It's a little less running. So it's part of Spartan. Yancey puts it on, and it's DECA is the Greek word for 10. So there's 10 stations, and it's functional fitness exercises. So the same thing. You've got like weighted burpees, weighted lunges, 500-meter row. So everything's kind of condensed to be smaller. It's more of that zone 5 fast
you're
pace.
pushing.
Yeah, and so then there's 3 different events. There's a strong where it's no running. You have a mile where you run 0.1 mile before each station. So then times 10, you run a mile, like 1 full mile. And then there's a Deca Fit where you run like 0.5 miles before each station.
Yeah.
So you come out to like a 5K. So that's the difference. But High Rocks is the same race every single time. Deca will have like 3 different types of events. So it's cool because then you can see, you know, you just test yourself in a different way.
So what made you want to do a Deca? Like, what was your working out before that? What were you
Very
doing
similar.
Things like that?
Like a lot of the high intensity, little bit of running, a lot of running, just depends on what day it was. And then, but my background's, I played college basketball.
Oh, you did? I mean, I could tell.
So the height kind of gives it away.
Yeah.
It was only D3, but I loved it.
You made it, yeah.
Yes, exactly. And so the fast pace, the quick,
the
competitiveness. But I'm more competitive now than I was in college.
Really?
So sometimes I wonder what life would be like if I actually implemented
that
a
fire
lot.
you have now.
Yes. But it was always there.
So how did this fire come about? What did this like? So you had this taste of success. You got on the leaderboard. Then you went to second in world champ. Did you train for the world championship? Like, I'm going to go to the world championships. I need to go hard for this.
Yeah, but I didn't know how to train. So that's where it was kind of like, okay, I'm seeing potential and I don't know how to unlock it or tap into it yet, but it's there.
Yeah.
Obviously I can do this. So that's where it was. You know, sometimes I do wonder if I didn't podium,
Where would you be?
would I still do it? So I'm really thankful that it worked out that way. And so then I decided to train. So I got some people that I just knew or met in this whole new world of what functional fitness is.
Yep.
And try to just pick a little bit of what, you know, who are these elites? What does their training programs look like? Who around me in this local area is doing it and being successful? Because everyone's always like, okay, anybody can be doing this, but what does your resume look like? And started picking apart pieces. And then I ran into someone named Adam, and he was the one I hired on, who was my trainer to start really.
Where's he at? Where's he located out of?
He was located. He's now in the Woodlands. I forget where he was living beforehand.
Does he have his gym, or he's just a trainer?
He's just a trainer. So it'd be like an app online. And so he'll just create workouts because he was doing High Rocks for a long time.
Yep.
And then dabbled into like what Deca is. But he has the knowledge.
Yep.
Thankfully, I just had the space and the drive to do it. So I would just go out on my own and work out.
I like what you did, though. You went and picked people who actually do this. You didn't
Yes.
just go to a gym and, all right, I'm going to do some curls, do some of this, I'm ready.
Yeah.
You like understood. You had the humility about it. Like, I need to learn this because I want to do good in this.
Oh, yes.
You
And
didn't
I'm like,
know it
I
off
don't
the
know
jump.
anything. So my knowledge and thankfully my athleticism can only get me so far. So I'm definitely going to have to humble myself and go, okay, there's going to be people who obviously are better athletes than me, but also people who have done this longer. So who's doing it and who's doing it well, but also who has done the work and has the knowledge and has kind of created a program.
Yeah.
And then I just went around and decided, and I liked Adam. I liked just the person he is and what he brought. And so we did, when I did the Deca World Championships in 2022, I met with him and signed on with his program to do High Rocks. And so just from there.
See success.
Yes.
But you still with him?
No, I'm actually in a season where I'm more of a
mom.
I
think I knew
mean,
that.
I've always been a mom, but my son is now 6, and so he's doing more of basketball, baseball, all of my free time. It's his turn.
Give me chills. I remember, so Brandy's a Sunday Fun Day veteran.
Oh,
You
I
come to
love
Sunday
it.
Fun Days.
I miss
And
it,
yeah, you would bring your son.
always.
I would like seeing that. I would like, oh yeah, she's a mom. He's there because there's moms there who bring their sons, who bring their kids. It's all, I love seeing that when they're like, y'all are gonna come with me.
Yes.
Because kids are the future, and they say kids are the future. And who do they look up to? They look up to their parents. Look up to us. So the future is literally in our hands. So it's up to us to kind of shape their mind, to sculpt them.
Always.
And so being active and doing things like that is the perfect thing to do, especially for a mom.
Yeah.
Like when you see your mom doing things, my mom started a business and my mom was successful. So
Awesome.
she made it easy. She made it to like, oh, I can do that.
For
like
sure.
if I would put
Following
something,
those footsteps.
Yeah, exactly. She
Yeah.
did it. Why can't I do it? My mom did it. So that was one of my biggest fights about not going to college because you didn't do it, and look at you, you started a business, but
Yeah.
she was like, no, go to college, and I finally listened. But that's a whole nother
I mean,
story.
they're wise,
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
so we have to honor our
Yeah,
parents.
but that's cool how you're doing it now. Like you would say, oh, I'm not gonna do this for much longer because my son's getting older. He's gonna play sports, and it's him.
Yeah.
So I loved how you did that because a lot of people are selfish. They were like, but I'm, they're what is the word I can say when they adore themselves so much, and we're like selfish, I guess.
There is always that degree. There's a level of pride or selfishness that you don't want to give it up, especially, the success of last year. I knew it would come to an end. I didn't know when. I would love to keep building on that foundation, and I might. It's just a season of life.
And it's times.
It is times.
You gotta.
Yeah.
There's so much time to be that successful, and not just I'm gonna train for an hour. And
It
do
takes
this.
so much effort and time and commitment, and so, and it was worth it. I mean, it was.
Look at
It was definitely worth it. Thankfully, I could reap the hard work that was put
Yeah.
in, and there was a benefit to it. But yes, when you have children, one of the things that when I became a mom and you listen to a lot of people is don't let the kids dictate what you're doing. You just bring your kids along. And so when it came to the fitness aspect of it, it was, and I also saw other moms bring their kids, and I said, okay, this is accepted. Like the kid's not, in the way. There's all these places where all moms and families who had kids and they had, you would do all your races during the summer and they just go play with all the friends and you'd go and race, and it was a community. Everyone would watch someone's kids while they were racing. And so then it was cool because then when you brought them on Sundays, they just see what the parents are doing.
Yep.
And I mean, they're sponges. They'll mimic it. I had him coming to me doing burpees or lunges in the garage with whatever type of weight, or he would grab shoes or something and pretend they're dumbbells on his shoulder. Yep. And so you just want to be the best influence you can. And one of those is, your health is a priority, and you can do anything you want. You could go play baseball. You could go get into all this. They have them for 14, 15, and 16-year-olds. You can do anything you put your mind to. But I'm going to show you that we can persevere, we can make a commitment, and we can do hard things.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Any of your parents in sports, were they athletes?
My dad he played baseball growing up. And so, but he ended up going to UT, and they didn't play in college. He did all the intramural stuff, but he was always the man who still did the church softball league.
See, we need to have that over here.
I know.
I need to get me in a church softball
Y'all
league.
need to create one and just create a whole league.
Right now we have a kids golf camp.
Oh, okay.
And we actually have a tournament coming up next week. Well, it'll be tomorrow if they're listening now. And it's a drive, chip, and putt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool tournament. If they win, they get to go to the Augusta National, which is the best course ever, literally ever.
Oh, wow, that's intense.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They go for the championship there if they win here. And it's a beautiful, that's also a beautiful thing to see, kids to see them tell themselves, I can't do this, or getting the hang of something after they keep repetition and learning and failing and getting better. And it's man, this is so cool just to see these kids, because we do it for a short amount of time after church, and to see them start off missing putts, and then they finish off making putts and things like that. It's hidden drives far. I'm oh my goodness, this is awesome. They're so quick to learn, and
they are,
especially right now they don't have the bad habits. So right now if we teach them good, they're gonna take that with them, which is cool to see.
How old are they doing that?
Yeah, it starts off 7 to 14-ish. 7 to 14.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's so fulfilling to see
but we
kids.
have young kids there too.
Yeah. It's so fulfilling to see them start somewhere and get better, and then them to experience that success. It's way more fulfilling than you experiencing it when you're able to teach them and see them, and but also then help them hey, even when we don't, we just keep at it because it'll come.
Yep.
But you have to persevere and trying to teach them. You keep falling down, you got to stand back up.
Amen to that. I do have a real quick question.
Yeah.
This is probably what every single listener. Because we have everyday people, you're an everyday person. You're a real lifer. You actually you have a 9 to 5.
Yes.
You do life and you do fitness too. And so we have everyday people. They want to know, what shoes do you run in during a race?
Oh, man, I have my Brooks Ghost 13s I have worn for the last 5 years.
Really?
I have this same pair in my Amazon cart. I repeatedly buy them. They don't sell them in the store anymore.
Yeah, I know.
And I love them. They're some neon pink,
Really now?
white, yellow. I wear the same shoes every single time.
Brooks, that's crazy.
I will not. I know. Like I thought about Hoka's or Ultras or I don't know.
You're so lucky.
I am
James
dead
is
set
not
on
this
it.
podcast right now.
What?
James has like this underlying hatred for Brooks.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you have to go against the grain.
Yeah.
Does James know it all?
He feels like he does, I'm sure. You're
No.
in France, can't hit me.
Same.
Yeah.
I can say what I want right now.
Exactly.
He's not telling me what to do if we're running a mile
Yep.
or trying to race me on Sundays.
So, I'm not afraid to do this. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, people, but how did your relationship with God work in your whole fitness and all, just how your life's been recently? Like a good testimony. What is your testimony, if you want to share that or anything?
Yeah. So I've always, man, we're not sorry. We love to talk about
Yeah,
this
sorry
stuff.
we're not sorry. Yeah.
We're not sorry. Man, God's good. Let's just start off with that.
Amen to that.
He is so good. The success I've tasted is only because of him allowing me to have that.
Yeah.
It's nothing by my own hard work. Yes, I've put in work to do this. But I could have put in work and never have achieved anything.
Yep.
And so I'm grateful and blessed to achieved what I have achieved. And definitely was thankful to end on such a high note of 2023. Because I knew whenever, and I know we'll talk about like DECA and High Rocks World Championships, but to be able to accomplish what I could in December, like December of last year, and knowing I was going to be done after that, I'm just really thankful to God to have such a successful season, my first and very successful season. But the Lord, I've always been a believer, but the Lord really grabbed my heart and was like, you've been a believer, but I like encountered him and his love back in like 2019. You know, I was just turned 29. I had my son, he was about a year and a half old. And ever since then, the Lord's just been like, I'm calling you to something. But he always knew what he was calling me to. It took Brandy.
It took you.
It took me to be surrendered and obedient to find out what that calling is. And that calling is just, I'm a disciple who wants to go and make disciples. And so I got involved with a house church. So that's what I'm really heavily involved in now, is getting a house church, which is just a church. We're just a church of house churches. And we want to go see Houston and the nation and the world become believers of God.
Yep.
And be disciples who make disciples. And so, you know, my walk with God has been so rich lately. And all of the fitness was just to be able to meet people, you know. And the success, thanks God, like glad to have that with it. But that also opens up more doors where people do notice who's at the races. People do notice who does achieve success. Yep. And so you can never let that go to your head. You have to remember my purpose is not to come in here and achieve the success, but my purpose is to come in here and meet people and love on people.
Yeah, you're fishing.
Yeah, I am fishing. I am going to meet lost people wherever I go. And how can I show them the love of Jesus and glorify him through that? I think I could have used different moments a little bit better. You know, you battle your flesh every day. It's really hard not to get kind of wrapped up into the accolades and the
Still
success.
Human. Yeah.
We are human. But it was one of those things I had to wake up every day and remind myself, like, why am I here and what am I doing? And it was, it's to do that. And so in different seasons of life, it looks like, but those relationships are still there. Just because I'm not racing right now, and it doesn't mean I won't go back to it for this first half of the year. Like, those relationships are still there. So it's really just me reaching out to them and continuing that and being like, hey, like, let's meet up. Or, hey, how's the Lord, like, working in your life? You know, whenever we get to that level, and just continuing to build a rapport with them. So then you can always have that door open to talk to them about Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, I believe everything you're saying, because you have a big guts. You're a big champion. You're a big winner, but overall you have a bigger heart than you are your size, which is crazy.
I hope that is, because then that means God's really transformed my heart. And that doesn't, you know, I want to die to myself every day and not be known for what I've achieved last year. I want to be known that I'm someone who loves, that I'm a follower of Jesus, and that person's really loved me and they really love the Lord.
Yeah, because we don't really talk, but you have become family without you even knowing, because the things I'd call my sister and like, what you,
Marianne, shout out, girl.
Yeah, shout out to my sister. And
Luis wanted a shout out, but I'm gonna give Marianne the shout out.
Yeah. And you'd be there. You'd be there if we have stuff going on in the family, and you're there. Like, you'd be there. You showed up a few times.
Yeah.
And my mom loves it. My mom loves you, so it's
I
like
love your mom.
So that's like, that shows me who a real person is. They take your burdens with you. They're there to carry their cross with you. You're not supposed to do life alone. So that's like a real person.
Preach.
Yeah.
Community. Yeah. I mean, the Lord says, like, my yoke is easy, my burden is light.
Yep.
And he says, cast all your cares upon me, or cast all your burdens on me, because I care for you. Mm-hmm. And so living in community is like, man, we're not supposed to do life alone. Hebrews 10:24 says, you know, you're supposed to not neglect, like, meeting up with one another like others have done. You're supposed to push each other on to pursue, you know, gather in community. And you want to link arms and just do life. I've paraphrased that whole verse, but you want to link arms and do life with one another, and that's what you're supposed to do. We can't do it alone. If the enemy can isolate you, he can influence you.
Yep.
And God's like, I have shown you what it looks like to live among a community, because you're stronger together. I never created you to be alone. And so whether it's encouragement, whether it's bringing food, whether it's, hey, let me pray over you, you know, and intercede for you on behalf of, you know, like healing, whatever it looks like, that's what community is supposed to do.
Amen to that. The first thing in the Bible that God said was not good was for man to be alone. And so, yeah, that's awesome. That is, community is key, and that's kind of where we're at with BC Fitness. BC stands for big community.
I know. That's one of the things that kept, you know, I didn't realize it was a part of a church when I first met y'all. You know, I don't know how long it was until I figured out. I was like, whoa, y'all know Jesus? Like, and there's something about the community that kept drawing me back. But that's what people experience. You know, people who are lost and not like unbelievers will meet believers and be like, there's something different about you, you know, and they can't put their finger on it. You keep they're drawn to you, and you're like, well, it's not me. That's the Holy Spirit. I don't want to give myself any credit. But the community piece that you all have, I was like, there's something different about them. What is it? And then I just like, y'all are doing it. Y'all are doing it. And doing it well.
I actually been trying to work on my, I call it RGF, my resting goon face, because I stand to the side, and people think I'm not happy or I'm mad or something. That's just my face. I don't know what's wrong with it. It just, I'm always happy. I'm always in a good mood. I'm always like, I'm not always willing to talk, but I'll talk. Like, it's crazy I'm on the podcast. 'Cause the other day I was thinking to myself, like, you don't talk to people. Like, I force myself now on Sundays, go and talk to people. You need to talk.
You have to.
Yeah, because, like, to me it's tough because, I don't know, it's like I'm not good at small talk, I guess is the word.
But you do a podcast every week?
Exactly.
And you can talk for a whole hour?
I can't. I'm on the sidelines listening to James. I'm a good listener. Like, we had our guest the other day, and he talked, and I was listening, I was like, man, this is awesome. Then when time to me ask a question, I'm like, I got nothing, because you just gave me all this stuff. That was like, well, you keep talking, keep using that wisdom that you got.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. But
we also all have gifts. So.
Yeah. My gift is
a good listener.
Exactly.
Yeah, but then you can come in and, you know, and turn it on and do this. So.
Yeah, and that's why I'm here. We have a live studio audience today, guys. She distracted me for a second because I could feel her smiling from the other side. But so you've conquered a year's worth of events. I guess a year and a half, 2 years of events.
Yeah, about a year.
Are you going to be coming back?
That is to be determined.
Okay.
It will happen, though.
All right. So
the when is but I'm still working out, though, behind the scenes.
I believe it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that can go away. That's like
it definitely doesn't.
Yeah.
I get antsy if I haven't worked out.
I was going to ask, though, so everyday listeners, we got people here. What are some roadblocks you had to do this? To, like, you were doing regular, just working out. You did a decade, and you found out you were actually kind of good at this. And then you wanted to be elite. What did it take? What were some things you had to go through to push to that next level? What were the, like, roadblocks you had, and also what was that journey like as well? That the hours you had to put into it. What was your workout schedule?
Man, the biggest thing that the learning experience I had to do was how much more training, how much more time you have to put in. Because I don't have that much time. You know, I do work the 9-to-5 job. I am a nurse and a mom. So the time that, you know, and I have my son full time. So it wasn't like, oh, you know, there's weeks that I don't have him or weekends I don't have him, that I could be, hey, I can get my 2-a-days in here or my long hour-and-a-half runs, whatever that looked like. So it was really balancing and juggling and prioritizing time with family, job, and this. And then the knowledge piece, the time, and those were the two biggest obstacles. And then finding a community, which ended up falling into place over time. And so that was the hardest to figure out, because then, you would do it and then you'd go and race. Because, DECAs, they would host, like, Bold Fitness would host a DECA, InBody would host a DECA. And then, or you would do, like, a Believe Fitness Games. And you could have
Yo soy believe.
I know. They are doing so good down there. You could have a game plan for one of those, and then it just doesn't go the way you planned it. You're like, okay, well, what, immediately afterwards, after you come down out of your zone 5, during the whole race, you're like, why am I even doing this? During the whole race, you're like, why do I keep signing up for this stuff? It hurts. It's hard.
Yep.
And if the time doesn't come out or you don't execute the way you want to, you always go back to the drawing board. What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? What needs to be tweaked in my training? And I was just not knowledgeable about it. So that just took a lot of time on. I thought you had to also be in zone 5 every workout you did. And then I learned, oh, no, actually to run faster, I have to run in zone 2.
Yep.
And that was the biggest, excuse me, what? How does that work out? So it's really learning a lot of the fitness aspect of it and the training. That was hard. But it just came with time.
Were you running before all that?
Not as long distance, no. Like I said, I'm a basketball player, so it was short. I mean, long distance in, like, I could run a 5K, but when I got with some of the trainers, then it was like, no, you need to run a 10K.
Oh, wow, they had you up there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
because the capacity, right?
Yeah.
Especially when I started training for, but then when you get really good at that, after I was training for High Rocks, my DECA times improved.
Yeah.
But your VO2 max was...
Your aerobic base went up.
Your lactic acid threshold, all of it. Yes, it all increased. And so they go hand in hand and really are helpful.
So the stuff that James has been saying, guys, actually might work.
I mean...
I guess that's why y'all are here.
Him teaching us how to run...
On Sundays?
I was like, man, I'm the worst form ever.
I'd be telling him to speed it up. Come on, James. Gotta get the workout. I need to work out. I took my pre-workout. I'm using it on these stretches.
The warm-up.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's so important.
He's
important. He's taught me a lot. And so the form, actually, even though I haven't been able to make it on Sundays, I still think about what he's saying. And so I've really improved my running form on it. And lo and behold, I can go a little bit longer because I've improved my running form.
So your max is about a 10K, though?
Yes. Yeah. I haven't pushed past that.
Really?
There's not a need to right now.
Yeah. No hopes of a half, full?
There was talks about possibly doing a half towards October.
Disney? Or?
I might need to call somebody.
Yeah, I know somebody.
Sign up and do that.
Want to run that with you.
We were thinking Houston half.
Oh, Houston. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there's one in October.
We need to start training
now,
though.
There's actually a run group starting up. You should join it. It's pretty cool. Just the swag bag alone is worth the entry fee. It's worth more than the entry fee.
Where's the run club?
$60. It's Champions. They run around here, I guess.
I should have known it's Champions Run Club.
Yeah, Champions Run Association.
I'll take the swag bag any day.
We cray. The swag bag is legit. Yeah. The guy who started it, he is Lululemon ambassador. So they got like a Lululemon day. Well, I guess for the coaches only, huh?
Ooh, we're bougie over here.
Yeah, that is bougie, and it's nice. They're like the swag. We just went yesterday to get fitted for the jacket and the shirt. It's gonna be nice. It's pretty nice stuff. Like I said,
I think is it like the North Houston Run Club or is it Champions Run Club?
There's a North Houston Run Club. That's like I think it's Woodlands more.
Yeah, I think that's
Champions
where it
is
was.
over here. Well, they run. I guess the highest north is like almost tomboyish.
Yeah,
they'll go over there.
Yeah,
but that's not too bad for you, I guess.
No.
But yeah, it's a good group. It'll be fun. It's a good network as well. It's a community.
I was just about to say that. Like you have another community, and community, it just keeps you accountable.
Yep.
And when you're that's it. It's just to be held accountable.
Actually, this actually is a PSA though. If you are planning on running a marathon in the next 6 months, half marathon, 4 to 6 months, join a run club now. Get in the group now, 4 runnings, and start training for it. Don't just have it in the calendar for your big goal over the year. You got to start doing it now because that's going to come by quicker than you know it. And the best time to start is literally right now, especially for a marathon.
I know. I'm saying that. I'm like, oh, yeah, we were talking about doing an October half marathon. I'm like, it's June? I got to sign up now and start training for it now if I'm really going to do this.
Luis had asked me to do a run. He's a mutual friend of ours. He asked me to do a run with him in July next month. And it was from Richmond to Galveston.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, that's a long distance.
That F3.
Yeah, something.
I don't remember what the name is.
I don't know what it is either, but it's over 100 miles, I think. It's a 6
But it's like a relay.
It's a relay, yes.
So you can go off however many miles, but there's like a minimum number of miles you have to do before you can trade off.
Yep, and I told him I couldn't do it.
You couldn't?
Yeah, I told him, no, I'm not ready for that. But I'll be, if you really need me, I'll do it. So I'm an extra leg in case someone can't do it.
Did you already have a team set up?
No, he was wanting me to be part of the team. I just told him.
You need to just say yes.
Yeah, I mean, I would have said yes, but I'm a golfer right now. That's my season.
Oh.
I'm back. I'm finally back into it. I haven't been able to golf since my daughter's been born.
Oh, yeah.
And I started. I actually went golfing on Tuesday, and that was it. The drug is back. Like, I hit the range last week. Playing with the kids is like, let me hit the ball one time.
Let me show you how it's done.
Yeah. And so, the bug is back, and now I finally have time because the summer tax season is over. I got a little more leeway with my schedule, so I'm back to golfing right now. And,
that's fun.
It's like we'd never. Well, golf definitely doesn't like me right now, but that's like the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Yeah. I was thinking of this the other day. It's like a life. It's also like a relationship with God. So we all trying to make it in the hole. Trying to make it in this 1-inch ball in a 3-inch hole. 400 yards away. And there's different routes you can take. You can go into the rough. You can get stuck in the rough if you decide to mess up your swing.
It's a great analogy.
Yeah, exactly. There's everyone has different ways to get to the destination in playing. How you going to get there? Yeah. And that's kind of like life. Like, we all have this destination we got going. No matter what your goal is, there's a goal you're trying to get to. There's a goal. How you're going to get there. What are the steps you're taking to get to that point? You're going to take your driver, which is the long clubs, to get as far as you can, as fast as you can.
I don't know anything about golf, so you're teaching me.
So that the drivers, usually even a par 4, it's like that's the big club that goes 250 miles, 250 yards or more. So it takes you halfway there.
Okay.
And so you can do that, but sometimes there may be water in the middle of the way. So you can have to club down and go over like an iron and hit it 200 yards and just be okay with that and work your way to the hole in time. But, so it's like life. So right now, if I want to do the best I can for a marathon, I'm going to hit my driver. I'm going to sign up for a run group. That's my driver because that's going to get me the best I can because I'm going to have accountability. I'm going to have a plan, a schedule of what I'm supposed to run, the miles I'm supposed to run, the miles I'm supposed to be at per week. Then I'm going to have swag on top of that. It's a little plug-in for Craig. But no, and then after that, there's also, like my irons. I want to hit the ball close to the hole or on the green so I can putt. But if I want to do that for running, after I do that, I gotta now look into shoes. I gotta look into nutrition, like things to be prepped for. Start training now for when I finally gotta go run this marathon. So if I get all the miles in, then I'm gonna be on the green. But I'm the type of person who I like to hold off and down. Like, I'm not gonna run today. I'll do tomorrow. Oh, and then I'm averaging 10 miles a week. Yeah, and it's a month before the marathon, so I'm in the rough. I'm in the sand, actually, so I got to get on the green so I can putt it and make it in. And I had like a 10 putt, so I triple bogeyed for the marathon the last time. But no, in reality, like, there's different ways to get where you're supposed to be, but what's the most efficient and what's the best for you? And that's how golf is. Like, you got to know your shot. I can't hit this club. I can't hit my 8-iron like I hit my 7, so. Yeah. It determines, and there's different yardage. It's over 10 plus yards of difference.
It's like you said, it's like there could be there's so many choices.
Exactly.
We have so many choices on, I mean, that's applicable to everything. You know, it's like you could choose, but if you want to get biblical with it, it's like the Lord says the path is narrow. Exactly. And it's hard. It never said we signed up for an easy life. Yep. And it said it's narrow, and many won't walk that path.
The road least traveled.
It is the road least traveled because it's difficult. But he said, in this world, you will face difficulty, but take heart, I have overcome the world. And so then you're like, okay, I'm weak. Your strength is made perfect in my weakness. So I'm going to walk this path because I want to be obedient. And what does it look like? You know, and that's applicable to training. If I'm going to sign up it's June. If I'm going to sign up for this half marathon, I need to start putting in, like, reap what I sow, you know, and that's a hard path to walk. Yep. You want to do something like High Rocks or DECA, those things didn't just happen overnight. I mean, it feels like it. It looks like it. You know, I can say, yes, I signed up 1 year and I've had all of these lists of accomplishments in 1 year, but I also have been training for many years before then. You put in work behind the scenes, and everything that everyone sees now is based on the work and the decisions, the daily decisions I've made for many days leading up to this point. And so just like, where we're at in life, where, is just based on all the decisions I've made leading up to this point. And it's also just trusting God, like, hey, I'm putting in the work. I hope you bless the effort. If not, there's a purpose for this.
I still love you.
Yeah.
I still love you.
You're sovereign. You know it's best.
I was telling somebody the other day, we got to take to get into bat. And I was telling somebody, I'm happy. Like, how are you happy? I was like, I'm happy. Like, I'm telling you, I'm happy. With everything going on in my life, I am still happy because God's in control.
Amen.
Anything that's good, anything that's bad, I'm going to take it because it's Him no matter what.
Amen.
Especially consider it pure joy when you're going through stuff.
Yes.
When you're going through tribulations. I'm joyful. I'm considered pure. I mean, it's crazy, but you get this peace that's beyond any understanding.
Oh, that's a great place to be in too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had someone tell me, when are you going to break? I'm like, when am I going to break? What are you talking about?
Hey, we rebuke that. I ain't going to break over here.
I broke down and I cried and I gave it all to Him. That was the day I broke, and that was it. It's all over. Yes. I left it there, and He got it. He's going to take care of everything.
He said, I'll carry it, and that's all, man, that's all we need in this life.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that.
Yeah, so anyway, all the, we make decisions every day. You put in the effort, and we hope that when you show up to race day, all of our efforts will, it just comes to fruition. But it's at the same time, too, you just leave it all at the start line, and you're like, okay, I'm going to run the race. The good, the bad, or the ugly. I'm going to give it all I got.
Yeah, so I used to have residency on top of podiums myself, too, like you. And it was Spartan, too. You had Spartan DECA.
Oh, yeah, you did the OCR.
Outsource. Yeah, I had a residency on the podium. I didn't lose. I never.
Humble brag.
Yeah, humble brag. I got second one time, but I was always on the podium on the races. But that was...
How long were you doing that for?
A year and a half. I think the same thing. But it was maybe 2. But it was all for the work I put in.
Yeah.
Be honest with you. I was at church 3 times a week. We did a Wednesday night Bible study, a Friday night Bible study. We did a Wednesday night coffee house, what it was called. Friday night Bible study, and then Sunday church. I was there, and I was also working out with James 5 days a week, 4 to 5 days a week, and I did my other stuff on the outside. But there was so much work put into that, and praying on top of that, and then just like, this is yours, you got this. And so that was taken care of. And so I would just go to race day and I just run. Yeah. There wasn't this big stress ball in my stomach. It was I put the work in.
Yeah.
If I'm going to win, I'm going to win. If I'm not, then it ain't going to come out of nowhere. It's okay. Someone else showed up. Someone else put the work in.
That's where that confidence comes from. And you're like, okay, yeah, because the reason I'm so stressed out, or the reason why I have all these butterflies in my stomach, is because sometimes I didn't prepare. You're more nervous because you're scared on what the outcome's going to be, because you're like, I did not put in the preparation for this. But if you do, and when you show up, you're just like, okay, we'll see. I know I can hold my own. And so there'd be times that when I showed up to DECA World Championships, I was like, I've put in the work. If you beat me, kudos to you. You've put in work, and you're a phenomenal athlete, because I know I'm about to bring it. And that wasn't just it's just because I was confident in the work that I put in. And I hope that my race plan was going to be executed, and I didn't get hurt or any other alternative. But it was, I'm confident in the work that I put in. So when I show up, it's battle. Let's go.
Yeah, and that's what people, if you put the work in, you put the work in. It don't be unless you just went way off of your race or what you planned on, your time that you knew you could have hit because you put the work in for it. Then that's the only time to get upset a little bit, I guess. But if someone beats you, but you still hit the time you wanted to hit, that's not on you.
Man, you have to give credit where credit's due.
Exactly. You got to understand, they're kind of,
you're cool.
They're beasts. Yeah.
Yes.
You got to give them that.
Kudos to you. Now, target's on your back. I'm after you.
Exactly.
And that's where that friendly competition comes in. And it's where you want people to come in and elevate you. And that's the whole point.
Did you see women like that? Did you see people oh, you're winning. I'm chasing you. This, you're the type
Always. Anyone, especially Lauren, if she showed up, I'd be like, okay, girl, let's go. That's why I loved running with her on Sundays. The first High Rocks, we ran into each other. And then my girl Karen that I ran High Rocks doubles with, she beat me in DECA in 2022. She got first in the DECA mile, and I got second. And so I reached out to her like, hey, what's your training program look like? And we just kind of, she lives in
can I
North
beat you?
Carolina. Yeah. I'm like, how can I beat you now?
Yeah.
Because your goals. And then we actually ended up becoming teammates. So it's kind of cool because your competitors become your friends and your teammates in this field.
Those are real people right there.
Those are
There's
real
not the people,
people.
like keeping it on myself. This
Exactly.
Is mine. Gatekeeping.
And then they're like, hey, you know, it's kind of like, I'm honored because now you want to race with me, you know, like, and let's do this together. And so she asked me if we wanted to race High Rocks Dallas together, and we did. And that was cool because we ran with some fast girls, and it just elevated us. And so we ended up getting third in that. But yeah, you just like, it's just, that's one of the things that the community piece of all of it, especially in Houston too, is seeing different people. And I'm like, okay, I see you here. You know I'm here. I know you're here. Let's battle.
Yep.
Because you're going to push me to be better. And I want to push you to be better. And at the end of the day, whatever the time is, I'm so thankful we had each other to push each other.
That's also, so you brought up Lauren. You can't, Lauren and community go hand in hand. That girl's all about community. She loves it. She's the type of girl. I mean, the only thing wrong with Lauren is that she doesn't know how amazing she is. That's it.
I was wondering where you were going to go with that.
It's just like she doesn't see. She doesn't see what we see in the mirror. Like if she had confidence in her abilities that everyone knows she has, she'd be up the podiums. It'd be y'all battle first and second the whole time. But she's in her own head. She puts the work in, puts all the stuff in. She has the capabilities. She has test anxiety. James didn't like to say that, but she definitely has test anxiety. We
all do when we show up.
It's just, you care about something so much. You love it so much. Like, you really want to do good. And it's like people seeing you, so you're worried about letting them down. But the main thing, like, don't let yourself down. Like, and that's where I think she's worried about letting us down. When in reality, she's already won in our hearts.
Oh, my gosh,
she needs to just focus on winning the
race.
race.
We would run Sundays together.
Yeah.
And so she'd pace me. And I'm like, girl.
That's Lauren right there.
You're great.
She's community. Like, she's all about, like, bringing, like, you would think she's a believer. You would think she's like the weird Christian girl going to the place. Y'all should come over here. Y'all should come over here. And all about promoting other people. She don't care what gym it is.
Oh,
helping other people out. She's a community person. That's what I love about her. That's what she's all about. She's community. And like that, just the functional fitness community is kind of like that. Like, I've realized High Rock, Spartan, they have this like, oh, you need some help? All right, be my teammate. Come be my teammate eventually. And they're real open to helping you out because this is a young sport. All this stuff is young compared to all the other stuff that's been out here, baseball, football, those other things.
I know.
This is young and it's growing. And, I mean, look at High Rocks.
So fast.
Yeah. It's the fastest growing sport, I think they said.
I know. Now. High Rocks. Okay, yeah. So the first time I heard about that, I said was 2021. And then how big it is now in 2024. Huge. And then DECA just started the first actual world championship was 2022. So last year was the second one. So this year will be the third one. So it's just
growing. Yeah,
it is growing. But now there's like in Spain.
Oh wow!
I think Puerto Rico. I can't remember everywhere else, but it's like now it's really starting to hit the world championships title. And so who knows where they're going to hold it, but it is phenomenal on how fast it's growing. But it's just, that's what I love about it, is how fast it's growing, but how it just connects you with people that you would never have met. I would never have met any of y'all if it wasn't for this.
Yep.
You know, we wouldn't be here today. And so it's never overlooking that that's the purpose of it, is to meet people and to love on people.
Yep. And it's people you have common interest in, too.
Yes.
So you can go, hey, let's
it's
go work out together.
Denominator.
And then you talk about other stuff. You talk about life.
Exactly. It's the vessel to just get there with people. And who doesn't love a good sweat, you know? And a good workout and pushing yourself, and then afterwards you're feeling accomplished.
Me.
I love it. I thrive on it.
No, golf is just a sweat in general. Yeah, I love a good sweat. So how's your mothering, like I'm going to bring it back to God, of course. Sorry, people, that I'm not sorry. But how are you sculpting his young mind in God, or how are you loving him like Jesus, I guess I should say? Yeah.
It is heavily like in the house church setting. We are in community on Wednesdays and on Sundays, and it's him just seeing first and foremost that like we're not just a Christian and we don't just sit somewhere on Sunday and like consume information. Like we are transformed into the image of his son. Like that's the point. God loves us and we're devoted to God above all else, and we're obedient to him. And second, we're followers of him, but that just doesn't mean that we're saved and followers. Like, we have a mission that God's commissioned us with himself to go and do.
Yep.
And that's to be disciples who make disciples. And so actually the other day, right before bed, we were brushing our teeth, and he was kind of recapping from the day. And he's able to say, like, I'm a follower of Jesus. And so, he's 6. So we just love that the conversations are happening because you want to plant all of those
Childlike
seeds now.
faith.
Yes. And you want it rooted in their hearts now. Because as they grow up and they learn, the enemy's going to attack that. The enemy's after the children. And so we want to protect them and intercede for them and raise them up. I mean, that's our jobs as parents. And I don't take that lightly. And he's even able now to tell me about baptism and what that means. So it's really just daily conversations and being the example, and not neglecting being in community. Because if I'm the example and if I'm doing this and having those conversations with him, the Lord's just going to bless that obedience with it.
So being a present mother.
Yes.
Being there. That's awesome. I actually, I heard the song the other day. It's like, I'm here because somebody prayed. And that's kind of, you're the somebody who's prayed for him, no matter what.
Well, the story of Timothy, Paul writes to Timothy, like 1st and 2nd Timothy, and he addresses Timothy that's saying, based on the obedience of your grandmother and your mother, you're here. And I mean, we don't know if the father was in the picture. We don't know just because scripture just doesn't say it. So what we're going to take is just that when Paul is writing to Timothy, it is because of the faithfulness of the generations of your grandmother and your mother. And so here you are now having to go and spread the word of God. And so that's just something where I'm like, okay, Lord, no matter what, as long as I'm faithful to you, I'm going to take your word for what it says, and you're going to bless my obedience. And so that's where my hope and my trust lies. So yes, I want to be present. I want to be there for him. I want to teach him the truth in scripture, and then let God just kind of handle the rest of it. Because the anxieties of the world and our children and everything that they face is just so overwhelming.
Yeah.
And you can't think about that so much.
So you had a change your mind, change your life experience 2019. Is when we're here, our saying, I think it's on, change your mind, change your life. That's the saying of BC Fitness. That is from Romans, the renewing of the mind every single day, daily.
Yes.
That's where James stole that from.
Oh, I love it because it reminds me of the verse in 2 Corinthians 5 where it's like, you become a believer, but the old is gone, the new has come.
That's it. Yeah.
No, but this is it. Yeah, you renew your mind. Don't be transformed by the...
Yeah, but renewing mind daily.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Don't be transformed by the world, but renew your mind. I swear I know the Bible.
Yeah, right. The same here, just on the spot. You don't really know it. But yeah, those are key, I'm going to say, values here, especially on the podcast. That's why I know James wouldn't mind that I'm talking like this right now.
No, we love it.
Because he talks about it all the time.
We love it. This is a vessel to just...
Yeah, and also there's mothers I'm thinking about specifically listening right now because they're strong, they're independent, and they're raising young men. They're beasts. Like they're beast mothers, and I can't imagine what their kids are going to be like. Because the things that they're doing.
There's so much hope.
The things they're doing is crazy. Like y'all are doing crazy things as moms. Like my mom wasn't a fit person. Like she wasn't like this. Like, so we hear about moms running marathons.
I hope she doesn't listen to this.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I didn't mean like that, but I mean, like, she pushed herself in other things, like business while I was thinking that. But like, y'all are doing things that are pushing y'all's bodies. I mean, other than pushing the baby out. That was crazy. Which I do have a lot more respect for in the past 2 years.
As a man should.
Yes. But y'all are pushing y'all's bodies to these extremes.
Yes.
Like, I know a lady who's like, a doctor's telling her to stop wearing heels because you're pushing your body to an extreme.
What I used to tell people when we were pregnant and I would work out, it's like, we're pregnant. We're not broken. So we can do that. Obviously, as a nurse, I'm like, talk to your doctor and make sure you have a healthy pregnancy. And like, I worked out before I was pregnant. So during pregnancy, I could still work out and then afterwards. And so, yeah, it was just carrying that. I've always been active. Thankfully, I've always been active. And so, yeah, even later on, it's like, man, just because I had a kid or like, I'm not washed up. Anymore. I'm not done. I'm not just some has-been athlete. I like to joke about that, but I'm like, no, I can still do what 20-year-olds do. I don't care if I'm 33 and one kid later.
Yep.
And there's moms out there that have 3 kids running around. I'm like, you go, girl.
There is. I mean,
you go.
I remember when my lady was pregnant, I wanted to wrap her a bubble wrap.
To protect her?
It was I was coaching my nephew. It was his first year playing baseball. I was coaching him, and so I took him to the park one time to train him to throw, just just being a present uncle. I just wanted to teach him how to throw, and a good testimony that now he's like his team's about to go to the championship today for a baseball game
Let's
tournament.
go.
And I'm like, man, this is see you 2 years, like to see him the way he is now. He's a monster.
Yeah.
But I was there at the beginning, and I was teaching him how to throw because he cannot throw to save it. Like he had a little arm on him, but he had no accuracy. So I was making a video to kind of show him. I was telling him, I'm like, hey, record this, please, and I'm gonna catch it for him. And he threw it, and that ball went way out. She was out of the way, and it went way out of the way and hit her right in the stomach.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah, right in the stomach, like boom. And I was immediately face pale white. I told him stop talking. I was like, we're going to the ER right now. Come on, let's go.
Did y'all go?
Yeah, we went to the ER.
Oh wow!
I thought the baby was gonna have an indent in her head when she came out.
They're resilient.
Yeah, which is crazy because now she needs to have a helmet. My child,
Yeah.
she needs a helmet because she is hitting her head every day.
Oh, how old is she now?
A year and a half. But
Oh, she's walking. She's
moving, and like she just started running.
Yes.
And she has no control.
And they don't slow down.
They don't. It's like
You're like, what? Wait, stop.
yeah, I'm gonna play this video right here for you guys. But we went to Denver and we went to this art place, and they had it was an art museum. It was an art exhibit with 3 floors of different art rooms and all that. And there was like a secret rooms. It was pretty cool. It's a legit thing. They had secret rooms, and we found a secret room that had nothing but mirrors in it. She was walking, having fun.
Oh, that's
following
fun.
her mom. Her mom turned the corner, disappeared, and she just had her head down, looking at all the art, and boom, walked right into the wall. And it's been a magnet ever since to a wall. She just the other day, just boom, walked into the wall at our house.
They grow out of it at some point.
I'm scared.
I know.
I'm scared.
Your baby girl.
Child, and she doesn't cry. She just keeps it going. So like, you don't know what's going on.
You're like, how many times can you hit your head?
Yeah.
Like we're working up there. This is not
I'm
going to be
literally.
good.
Our doctor told us like it's okay. They can take a few hits.
Yeah.
She's taking a lot.
You're like 20. Is
Yeah.
that a few?
Yeah. She's amazing. She's resilient. She's
What's her name?
Nyla.
Mm.
Yeah, she's my little dancing buddy now.
Yeah.
We dance now. Now it's like she's always been fun to me. People say that babies don't become fun until they're a little bit older, but she was fun from the jump. Like she was like really fun.
Yeah.
Because it was me and her because her mom went to work. Her mom went back to work. So from 2 months to 10 months, it was me and her like all day, every day. I had her here.
Daddy's girl.
She was with me all the time, and so like
awesome.
that stuck with her because she's still me because she is wild. I walk in her house going,
Kids are wild.
Yeah.
They're all wild.
I have a food song that I made up, and she like once she hears me start singing it, she knows it's food time, and she's dancing, twerking, all this stuff.
Oh.
I didn't teach her how to do that. That
was Mom.
Yeah, I don't know where
I'm
that
just
came
kidding.
from. But it's awesome. It's been an amazing journey. Like this life is amazing, right?
It is.
Like you've
And kids are such a blessing.
they are.
Like it says in Psalms, like, or is it Proverbs, that they're just hands, like arrows in the hands of a warrior.
Mhm.
Your children are such blessings.
I like that. I needed to hear that one right now because I got me a nice arrow and she can
Yes.
pierce through some armor. I'll
Yes,
tell you
and
that.
like as we were talking about how we raise them and we're present,
Mhm.
I mean, in Proverbs it says, train up a child in the way they should go, and when they get older, they won't depart from it.
Exactly. When you said that earlier, I was like,
And so we put, and the fruit is always the end result. It's not the beginning. So we hope to share the gospel and raise them to be good, citizens of society and to be believers of Christ and be followers and go and make disciples. And all of that work starts now as parents, and we're present in their life, and we're hoping that fruit, which is going to be at the end result, when they get older, that's the fruit that's born and bared.
You said the child's like a weapon.
Yeah,
an
arrows
arm,
in the hands of a warrior.
Arrows in the hands of a warrior. So it's crazy
It
because
is amazing.
I pray over every night. We pray, and she now knows how like to close her eyes, look over, and all that. And one thing I always say every single night is, God help me raise a child that's a weapon and a disciple for the kingdom.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, so like that's kind of cool for the arrows. Like, I didn't even know.
They are a weapon. They are a disciple, and they are a threat, and they will build the kingdom.
Yep.
And that is the Lord's goal. That was his goal for our families. He's like, go out and multiply. Like, we're supposed to go, and we have a kingdom mentality. Everything is not just like this earth. Like, this is not forever.
Yeah.
And so, that's so awesome. I love that prayer that you do with her.
It's one of the things I say. But yeah, it's every night. She knows. She has a routine now. So like that's another thing. Like people, they were telling us how, good luck getting some sleep. Man, we got her packed down.
Good.
Like she knows. Like bath time. Once bath time's over, bedtime. Story, bedtime.
prayers, nighttime
once we
prayers?
once we finish the bath time, she already starts winding down.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, like she'll stop talking. She's just,
Yeah, that just relaxes you. Good
Yeah.
job, parents. I'm
Yeah.
proud of y'all.
Yeah, and actually that all happened from some random person we met at HEB.
Teaching y'all that?
Yeah, some random person at the grocery store. They had a 1-year-old and we were pregnant. I wasn't pregnant, but we were just shopping around and
Love how men say that. We were pregnant.
Yeah,
Did you do all the work?
They stopped us, the couple, and they were like, what do y'all do for a living? Just right out of nowhere, like what? And we started talking, and they were like, there's a book you need to learn how to sleep train your child, because he works to our schedule. He goes to sleep when he knows it's time to go to sleep. We have him on a routine, like he works with us. We don't work for him.
That was just wisdom placed upon y'all.
Just out of nowhere.
Thank you, Jesus,
Yeah,
for having those people come into our life.
There's no relationship with them, nothing ever since.
Yeah,
They just kind of
wisdom.
just told us, and like that was kind of implanted. Like, okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
And so we had this routine. Bedtime is at this time. Nap time is at this time. So we try not to break that. Most people like try to tell us, oh, let's go out and do this. Like, we got to get this girl to bed. Because
That's good.
Once she
Because she
breaks
knows
it-
what to expect. Yeah. I will say that's where I fell short. Is like, let's go and do that. Like, his routine was always messed up. And so it created a little bit of chaos of, like, trying to get him to sleep. And so kudos to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hindsight's 2020. I would have changed that.
Well,
we're great now. He falls asleep just fine. He knows bath, bed. But when he was like 1.5 years, 2, 3, I was like, hey, we can go and do this. It's the weekend or whatever. And we'll meet up with other friends who have kids. But yeah, then his sleep
Went
schedule.
down.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was hard to put him to bed.
Well, we got to get going. You got to get back to work.
Yes.
You are a working mom.
I am.
That's awesome. Any closing statements you have?
Oh, I'm thankful and honored that y'all have chosen to speak with me. Know that the Lord is good. All of this is a gift. It's a gift for a purpose. And we love to work out. Kids are amazing. Having families is a blessing. And being able to be athletes and having the ability to just go and work out and having bodies that are capable of doing so much and being able to push past limits is just always want to be thankful to where that came from, And so, like, glory be to God through it all. But also, it's fun to go and work out and have competitions and meet people. And, it's been an honor to be part of BC Fitness and to be able to come and work out with y'all. And thanks to James for all the knowledge he's imparted on me for running and working out. And even the competitions y'all have created to be able to allow, you open people to walk into the house of God and have fun and have competitions and just spreading the word and building community. I'm encouraged and impressed by y'all. And so honestly, I'm turning this into closing statements like, keep doing what you're doing. I'm encouraging y'all to keep pressing forward because this is good.
Well, thank you. I wasn't on my phone texting. I was getting my.
You're good.
I'm bringing. It's the last day of the Rock Dog Takeover. So.
Last day.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Well, this might change into being a permanent thing.
Yeah,
You
right,
never
that's what I'm
know.
saying. I saved the best for last, though. So I do have a Rockies ramble. I'm bringing that back for this episode because I was out for 2 weeks on the regular stuff, and then when I came back, I didn't have a Rock Dog. I didn't have a ramble. And,
Like your shoes, by the way.
yeah, matching shoes.
Yeah.
Boom. Wait, there we go.
Can you do it?
Yeah. Boom. Matching shoes.
Just notice that.
So, guys, for Rocky's Ramble, here we go. I can't tell you how many big goals I've had that never got accomplished. Let me tell you some of my excuses. I don't have enough time. It wasn't meant to be. Being overwhelmed with what it actually took to be accomplished. It's crazy because I had time to watch a lot of TV, play games, and nap. In Proverbs, it says, a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and boom, poverty will come on you like a thief. Time is the most valuable resource we have. The harvest is plenty, but the workers are few. So check yourself. That was the Rockies Ramble.
Luke 10:2.
There we go. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Thank you, Brandy, for joining us.
Thank you for
It was
having
a
me.
great episode. I had fun. Wish we could have kept going longer. Brandy's a worker, so she had to go. You know me, I'm unemployed at the moment. Just kidding. I am employed. Sanctified code photo boost. If you have an event coming up, holla at me for photo booths. And definitely for Christmas lights. Christmas lights, he's playing that seat now. When you have Christmas lights, come to your boy. Any plugins I got else for James comes back and I can't plug him in no more. That's just about it. Oh, go to JDS Silva. Call them up if you got in a car accident. You get in a car accident, call JDS and Associates.
I have like a 45-minute drive home.
Oh, let me not.
Let's not
God
jinx
is
it.
good.
No, I'm just
We'll
kidding.
take over.
Good
But
to
yes, if you got any accident people, JD Silva and Associates, call them up. The number you already know is on the ad. Thank you guys for tuning in. Follow us on Patreon. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on wherever they follow us. Peace.